So in this video, we're going to talk about the Mets bullpen situation, and this video will start right now. Now, as you know, the Mets have a problem with their bullpen. Edwin Diaz is not going to be here for the season, and I'm going to go through a list of players that could be available at some point during the season, probably in all likelihood the trading deadline, which is, I think, August 1st this year. So, as you know, the Mets don't have a closer, although they will be, of course, using, in all likelihood, David Robertson and Adam Ottavino to close out games. And before we get into this, a little note. I would appreciate if you're a regular subscriber to make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you watch it. I've noticed that subscribers are not watching the videos more than they probably should. The channel's getting great recommendations from YouTube. YouTube is recommending this channel. So please, I ask you very nicely just to hit that bell for notifications so that when the video goes up, you'll be one of the first people to watch it, and you'll be great. So thank you. So I want to go through a couple of names that are of interest to the New York Mets that could be useful. And there's a big name on here, a fairly big name on this list. And this is from SNSI.com. And this is actually from Jim Bowden, former general manager of the Cincinnati Reds. He put out a bunch of names the other day or last week once this injury popped up. It's a bad injury to Edwin Diaz in his knee that happened at the World Baseball Classic. The Mets have been hit with a lot of injuries, but the thing with Diaz really hits them very hard. But you don't need an all-star closer to win a World Series, but he was very important. I think we all know that. So here's a rundown of some of the names that he has mentioned. David Bednar of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Scott Barlow of the Kansas City Royals. Daniel Bard, who we've heard for like 20 years that he's going to get traded, but he always stays in Colorado. Alexis Diaz. Now, we've talked about him. I talked about him in a previous video, and I'll put the link into this in the description and in the pinned comment, and you can check that video out on him. I don't know if he's going to get moved. Are the Mets willing to give up guys like Brett Beatty or Mark Vientos or Ronnie Mauricio? I don't know, but that is a name that is going to be out there. And would he be good enough to sort of replace his brother here after just pitching 1 year in Cincinnati? Who knows? Now the big name that he mentioned here, this is Jim Bowden, is former Yankee, former Cub, former Cincinnati Red on a 1-year deal with Kansas City, and that is Aroldis Chapman. He's a 7-time All-Star. He has been one of the top relievers in his career over the last 11 years. Although the last 2 years he has been a bit of a struggle in terms of his walks per 9 inning. I was shocked to see over the last 2 years that his walks per 9 inning is over 6. And obviously, if you're a reliever, and particularly a closer, you cannot walk anybody. And he's had this sort of over the last 2 years, the walk rate is just outrageously high. You're not going to win that way at all. He has pitched in New York, as you know. He was with the Yankees for a lot of years. And he won a World Series with the Cubs, although he wasn't really the focal point behind them winning the World Series. They almost lost that World Series in 2016. But he has experience. He's closed out big games. He's pitched here in New York. Now, we do know his history of domestic abuse in the past. That is an issue. I don't know how the Mets would view that, or any team would view that. But obviously, Kansas City doesn't have an issue with it because they signed him to a 1-year deal. You wouldn't have to give up a big prospect for him. You wouldn't have to give up a guy like Beatty or Mauricio or Alvarez, certainly not. But you'd have to give up something that would entice the Royals a little bit. He's not making a lot of money this year, $3.75 million. So he is not he's not going to cost you a lot of money, quite frankly. But he's an interesting guy. He's left-handed, as you know. He's been a big reliever for a long time. And you can win a lot of games with a guy that can just get out to the ninth inning. But the Mets had the best reliever in baseball. They do take a hit, but But that is a name to keep an eye on, like I said. And there'll be other names. Kenley Jansen's another name I will mention. He does have a 2-year deal. However, the one good thing about that, I was thinking about this, I think I mentioned in another video, is that with Jansen, because he's got this 2-year deal, it does give them that, say they were to make a move with the Red Sox, and they brought him in, they could have him start the year as the closer next season if Diaz isn't quite ready next April. But that is down the road, and that hasn't happened yet. But that's something of interest that could happen at some point. But let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. And again, if you're a regular subscriber, make sure you hit that bell for notification so that you know when the videos go up. It seems like not enough people are notifying themselves to the videos that I do. I do at least one video a day. There'll be a live stream this week. Like I always got plenty of shorts. Either I'm talking on a short or I got some kind of highlight from spring training. I don't know how much I'll be doing during the season, but we'll see on that side of it. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you, and I'll see you later.